Okay, I think we'll start. What do you guys think? So I will pass to Barb Gallagher, our Vice President of Development at the Children's Tumor Foundation, for the introduction. Take it away, Barb.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to welcome you to our hackathon overview. This is the perfect webinar to attend to get you all set up for our kickoff this Friday. Salvo, you can do the next slide, please. So here's our agenda for today. We're just going to do a general Hack 101 overview so you can see how our format works. And then we're going to get a guide on problem pitching from the MIT Hacking Medicine team. We're going to review the attendee guide as well as tell you all about our Rare Incubator. And we also just want to remind you that we are up to 224 registrations, which is great, but we welcome more. So please continue to spread the word, and there's room for plenty more. So just get the word out there. Thank you. Here's our panelists. So Salvo and I are from the Children's Tumor Foundation. You'll hear from Salvo later in the presentation. And then our partners this year, MIT Hacking Medicine, Julia and Jessica will also be presenting about problem pitching and more. So we thank them for joining us on this call. And we really would want to thank our sponsors and data partners, without whom this event would not be possible, particularly our incubation sponsors, NTAP and the Gilbert Foundation, as well as our event sponsors, Bougie AppTech, Salesforce, Helix, and AstraZeneca, Charles River Laboratories, a new partner this year, and also, along with all of our incredible data partners, a big shout out to Sage Bio Networks, who's hosting our platform this year and has been doing so much behind the scenes work to make the platform and the data easily accessible to all of you. And of course, we're grateful to all of our other data partners, many of whom you'll hear from throughout the hackathon and various webinars, and our community partners who've been helping us to recruit teams from schools and organizations around the country and internationally. And so here's just a quick overview of our tracks. So this year we do have 4 rare disease tracks. The challenge track number 1 is our neurofibromatosis or NF track. On track 2, we have the P10 Hamartoma Tumor Syndrome Foundation, risopathies on challenge track 3. And we have a special collaborative track hosted by Research the People, which will focus on an unresolved desmoid tumors patient case. So please tune in for our kickoff this Friday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, where we'll have some guest speakers from last year's hackathon, hear from our CEO, Annette Bacher, and our problem pitching will begin, hosted by MIT, where people can share the problems they want to solve in the hackathon and brainstorm and maybe even form some teams if you don't have a team already. And then we'll start our Friday weekly check-in webinars. These are informative. They're optional, but they will help you in a lot of ways if you're able to attend. So our first one will be hosted by Varsome and Children's Brain Tumor Network, 2 of our data partners, and we'll continue to check in on problem pitching with teams and pulse checks. So just, please continue to stay abreast of all that we have going on. Check our website out regularly. And you'll also notice on the slide, just we have prizes available for the top 3 winners in each is available for those who want to continue working on their projects after the hackathon. All right, next slide. Okay, and again, just please, we have several communication channels open to you. Please sign up for the Hack4Rare Slack workspace. This is where the majority of our communication will take place. Continue to look back at the website as we update the agenda and the schedules. All the webinar registration links will be on there, as well as resources and access to data. And we will be recording all of our webinars and presentations. It may take a few days, but check back to the website as so we will have that to you for those of you who cannot attend these sessions. And now I'm going to turn it over to Julia. And so we're going to learn more about problem pitching.
Yeah, so hi, my name is Julia with MIT Hacking Medicine. So we'll be starting off with our Hack 101 presentation, then Jessica will be presenting how to problem pitch. So let me just share my screen real quick. Okay. So what is MIT Hacking Medicine? Our mission is to democratize healthcare innovation. It's to infect, energize, and teach healthcare entrepreneurship and digital strategies to scale medicine to attack and solve health problems globally. Sorry, let me try to click to the next slide. Oops. Sorry, give me a second. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so what is MIT Hacking Medicine? Our mission is to democratize healthcare innovation. It's to infect, energize, and teach healthcare entrepreneurship and digital strategies to scale medicine, to attack and solve health problems globally. We do this by connecting the best minds in the healthcare ecosystem to solve some of healthcare's biggest challenges. And the main way we do that is through the healthcare hackathon model, which MIT Hacking Medicine has pioneered. When we traditionally think of hacking, we often think of someone in a dark room, sitting in front of a computer, trying to break into a system or gain unauthorized access. But hacking in our world is something entirely different. It's a creative application of ingenuity to be able to change the current established system. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the word hackathon, which is what you get when you put the words hack and marathon together. For us, it's what happens when you put a bunch of really smart people in a room together, virtually in this case, and you get them to try and solve a problem. It's going to consist of a lot of teamwork, a lot of innovation and entrepreneurship, and as the name suggests, it's literally a hacking marathon, so it's going to be intense. You guys are going to be working very hard over these next 5 weeks to come up with ways to tackle some of the biggest problems in healthcare. You would be amazed at the kinds of solutions that get created, and we believe that you guys can do it while working together in an innovative manner. We focus on creating teams to innovate in a short period of time. Our healthcare hackathons are not like the other hackathons you may have attended, specifically tech hackathons, and there are 3 main reasons for this. First, we encourage diverse interdisciplinary teams, and we bring in people from a wide variety of backgrounds. The best teams have differing but complementary skill sets. What we really care about is for people to have problem-centered work that focuses on real user needs, that tackle real pain points, and solve real problems. Finally, we focus on the feasibility and also business viability of your solution. We want to make sure that you have the tools and the ability to move forward with and scale your ideas to make them a reality. We've brought our model to over 30 countries, working with partners all over the world to be able to encourage healthcare innovation within their spaces. And our impact has been very widespread. Over the last 4 years, we've had more than 45 companies come out of our hackathons. They've raised over 175 million in funding, and they've gone on to be funded by VCs such as Techstars, Rock Health, Y Combinator, and more. And more importantly, they've been able to affect real patients and have started real clinical trials. And that's what we're really looking for you to make a real change in the healthcare space. While we've had a lot of different successes during the time we've been active, one of our greatest achievements was the company PillPack that started from our first hackathon. They were acquired by Amazon a few years back, and you may be familiar with them or have heard of them. Now that you have a bit of background on what we try to emphasize within our hackathons, I'll be giving you a preview of what our hackathons actually look like. As a quick overview, the hackathon process consists of about 6 steps broken down over these next 5 weeks. This coming Friday during Kickoff, you will be pitching your problems and then mixing with other participants. Then during weeks 1 through 3, you will be hacking and receiving feedback on your ideas. And finally, during weeks 4 through 5, you'll be iterating on your ideas and finally presenting them. Now let's take a look at what this looks like in action. As a disclaimer, all of these pictures were taken from our in-person hackathons, but we've worked really hard to translate that to the virtual space so you can get as close of an experience as possible. On Friday after kickoff, you'll each be heading into a problem pitching session where you will have the opportunity to pitch any problem within healthcare that you're passionate about and want to see change for. Then you're going to be going into Slack channels that will be made visible following problem pitching, and you'll have the opportunity to mix with other participants who are equally as passionate as you are and talk about with all sorts of different people to be able to form interdisciplinary teams centered around real problems. For the rest of the hackathon, as you can see, there's going to be a lot of ideation going on. You're going to hack on the problem of your choosing, thinking about all the nitty-gritty details and how you can address them with the solution. And the hack team has provided you with a lot of different resources that will help you think about and break down the problem such that you can come up with a solution that will be and a business model that will be feasible to be implemented after the hack. While you hack, you will also be receiving feedback from individuals such as mentors in different areas of expertise, and the hack team, who will be helping you improve on your hack and pitch and help you be successful. There will be a lot of iteration that happens. Very rarely do teams come out of the hack with a solution or even a problem that was the first thing they came up with or thought of during the weekend. So just make sure that you keep an open mind and are open to changing your ideas. Finally, you will be presenting your pitch in the form of a 3-minute pre-recorded video that judges will be watching and evaluating. And you will also be displaying your work on your project page on the website. So to break down our process again, from the start, make sure to identify the problem. The problem is the crux of the hack that you'll be working on over the next 5 weeks. Make sure you thoroughly understand the problem before you start to think about the solution and start coding. You're going to break it down and get really specific. Think about the contributing factors to the problem. Who is suffering? Why they're suffering? Understand the stakeholders and whoever the problem affects. And also look into the current solutions out there and maybe why they don't work so well or what can be made better about them. Your goal should be to understand every single aspect of the problem. Once you're good with the problem, then it's time to start brainstorming for solutions and build up your solution. Once you've understood the factors, find a creative, feasible way that can address these issues. We're talking about a specific solution that can address the specific problem you've identified. Finally, the last step is to iterate and improve on your solution. The goal is to make sure that your solution is optimal. And you can do this by talking to people, seeing where your solution can break so you can fix it, and also seeing if your solution is going to be sustainable and acceptable by all parties. We've learned some guidelines over the years from different participants for what to do during a hack, and we'd like to share this with you guys. We'd like you all to open yourselves to crazy ideas and leave job titles at the door. Here, we all have our unique and valuable experiences, perspectives, and expertise that we can bring to the table. It's really the collaboration that'll result in a great solution. We also encourage everyone to seek diverse teams. The most innovation happens when we have, for example, people from the healthcare space, the tech space, designers, people who are in entrepreneurship and business, so people with all sorts of different backgrounds, all coming together to form a very robust team and hack for a strong solution. Additionally, don't hesitate to reach out for help because we're all here to support you. We encourage you to fail fast and change. If you find that you're going down a route that doesn't seem to be panning out well, don't be afraid to learn from the failure, ditch it, and try something else. It's really that failure that you learn from and that you can create the best solution from. Remember to focus your problem. We find that problems that are too wide or target too wide of a patient space are hard to come up with a solution for that'll work effectively. So focus your problem to a particular group of people. We'll be talking more about how to focus your problem during the How to Problem Pitch session. Finally, we encourage you to build something. Show the judges that you have worked on something, that you have a solution to show. Take concrete actions, and maybe even make prototypes if that applies. We also have some advice for what not to do during the hackathon. Don't worry about patenting or discussing ownership. This isn't really the end goal of the hackathon. We really just want to see that you're focusing on the problem and solution and iterating on that. Those sorts of discussions can take place after the hackathon, but right now, we just want you all to focus on collaborating together. We also want you to not develop too broad of a solution. which kind of ties into the idea of not having too broad of a problem as well. You want to make sure that your solution works well for the narrow problem and specific population that you selected for your problem. Don't be negative, and don't be shy either. Feel free to express your opinions, but just make sure they won't lead to the detriment of the team. And along those same lines, try not to monopolize the conversation and make sure that all your team members have equal say in everything. Finally, make sure that you're actually taking action. This shouldn't just be talking about what an ideal world should be or what things should be like or what kind of things should happen in an ideal world, but rather how we can take concrete steps to try and solve these problems. At the end of the day, a good hack is based on a good story, meets a real need, can be iterated, can be tested, and can be scaled to work with multiple populations. Now that you know how our hackathons work and what makes a good hack, we'll move on to talk more about the specifics of what judges will be looking for in your hack. The judging criteria that will be used for the general awards aligns closely with our design thinking process, and there are 4 main aspects that we emphasize. We want to see that the problem you have identified is a real problem that, when addressed with your solution, has the potential for widespread impact. We want to see a solution that will work and is feasible, that addresses challenges in an innovative way, and that considers things like user experience, interface, and service design. We want to see that you have a complete project page with data and that your model is something that's reproducible and reusable. And finally, we want to see an effective presentation and a diverse team behind it. These are the judging criteria for the Rare Incubation prizes. You'll see that impact and innovation are the same. However, in addition, we also want to see that your proposed plan is feasible with realistic goals, preliminary results in support of the plan, and a statement of commitment from your team. Salva will be going into more detail regarding the Rare Incubator later. Now I'll be handing off to Jessica to go over what makes a good problem pitch.
Thanks, Julia. So problem pitching is a great opportunity that you should take advantage of during Hack4Rare. So you'll have a few live opportunities to pitch a problem that you're interested to tackle in 60 seconds. And after pitching, you'll have a Slack channel created just for your pitch for discussion to help you form a team or recruit additional teammates. So let's dive into some pointers from our experience of what makes a strong problem pitch. So at the crux of a well-defined problem statement is a clear and concise statement that describes the symptoms or the pain point of the problem that needs to be addressed in quantifiable terms. It enables people to readily grasp and understand what you're trying to accomplish, and it also serves as a great communication tool, helping you to get buy-in and support from others. When looking at your problem, break it down by asking yourself the 5 W's. Who? So who does the problem affect? Who are the customers? What? What is the actual problem? What are the impacts of that problem? What will happen if it's not fixed? And what will happen if it is fixed? What are the shortcomings of any current approaches to solving the problem? For when, consider when does it occur and when does it need to be fixed? Where does the problem occur? And finally, why? Why is this problem important to tackle now? Repeat the previous process for each of your stakeholders that are involved with your problem or affected by it. Some examples of key stakeholders we see in healthcare are patients, providers, payers, pharma or industry, and a patient's circle of trust, which can include their family or other people involved in their care. A few more thoughts we have to guide your problem pitching. Remember to be quantitative if you can, and pick a specific customer or end user. Your first choice of the customer might be wrong, but this will really help you to go through the design thinking process and come up with something that's feasible and sustainable. It's also helpful to build a persona, which is kind of a composite of the end users that you're trying to target. For example, your persona might be a 50-year-old female recently diagnosed with something. It could be a large academic medical center in Boston. Your persona could be family members of patients suffering from depression. Remember, your end user and your economic buyer are often different, especially in healthcare. So an example of a strong problem pitch is one that tells a story. My father is blind and can't tell apart his meds because all of his pill bottles are smooth and similar in size and shape. As a result, he is dependent on me or another family member sorting his medications into containers marked with Braille every time he gets a refill. An example of something that is not a strong problem pitch is I want to build an app that analyzes mood and vital sign data. This is not a problem pitch because it's pitching a solution, which is both detrimental to the problem-centered design process, and it also narrows the breadth of possible solutions that people might think of. So signups will open after this webinar for live pitching slots during the June 25th event kickoff. We highly suggest you sign up for one of these slots, but if you're not able to attend the June 25th event, there's also 2 more opportunities to pitch live during the weekly check-in meetings. That's on July 2nd and July 9th. You'll also be able to view recordings of the live pitches, and all of this is detailed in the attendee guide as well. Remember, you want to keep your problem pitch to 60 seconds, be specific, and don't be proposing solutions just yet. So a preview of what the team formation might look like afterwards. You should attend the live sessions, or if you can't make it to them, view recordings of the problem pitches on Synapse. Next, you'll talk with other participants by looking for the pitch number that associates with the pitch you're interested in on Slack. Make sure to talk to people with different backgrounds than you. As we said, the strongest teams have members that span many different areas of expertise. Finally, you'll form teams of 2 to 6 people around an unmet need that you've identified. You'll want to officially register your team on Synapse and fill out 1 team registration form for team, which is the deadline of July 16th. So that's all we have for you now from MIT Hacking Medicine, and we're really looking forward to seeing what you all come up with.
Okay, thank you so much, Julia and Jessica and Barb. So what I want to do next is quickly go over the attendee guideline, the rules and the code of conduct, just, point you guys where these resources are. But before that, I need to share my screen. Okay. Hope you can see my screen. Okay, so the attendee guide, it's located, we just, added it to the 2021 Hack4Rare webinar, website, just underneath registration. You can find it here. I just want to go on that page now. You should be able to see my the guide here. You can basically scroll this document and come back often because we're gonna add content as soon as we move to the end of the hackathon. So you can navigate to the different part of the document. You'll see the event overview, but also some practical guides and tips for conducting a successful hack. Things that you need to make sure you cover during your first, second, third, fourth, and final week. And also, some of the team requirements checklist. Make sure that this list is what you need to check before. Just so keep an eye on these points as they are very critical for you to be successful and meet all of the deadlines. Then we have a Slack channel list where you can actually see all of the different, channels that are prepared for you. Plus, the event, and some of them we already covered. So today we are here at the overview webinar. So what is left is that we'll basically kick off and start the hackathon on Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We are reserving 2-hour slot. But we don't know, we may, run earlier depending on how many problem pitching we'll have. And then keep an eye here and come back on this file, but also on the other parts of the website where we'll update with speakers and other details for the check-ins that are optional, but really educational, and kind of we'll have some of the resources available to you, like through DNA Nexus, the Children's Brain Tumor Network. They're gonna, lend some of their data sets, and we'll use this for also highlight some of great talks we had also last year. So July 29th, just make sure you send your 3 minutes final recorded pitch to Lucas so that those will be played on July 30th, where we are, running through in a revolving way all of the projects. So make sure that you tune in for your team. At least 1 or 2 members needs to be on while we play your final pitch, because there will be judges live and they will ask questions for a minute right after your problem pitching. And then, we'll have 1 week to score and make all of the different consideration and announce winners on August 10 at 12. So you already heard about, steps for team formation and problem pitching, but you can refer to this guide again. The MIT Hacking Medicine team is organizing pulse check for you to, make sure that you are on the right track, but also will help you to define and construct a very effective pitching for your idea in those 3 minutes. So there are some practice pitching available. Keep an eye for submissions and forms where you can reserve your slot here to have the team and helping you in your final submissions. And then, of course, follow the submissions guidelines. There's extensive documentation on how to submit projects and what are the characteristics of each project that we're looking for. For the incubation prize, I'll go right after this into more details. Of course, you'll have access to a lot of resources, especially from our mentors. So make sure you ask mentors on the channel. You can, ask mentors for a specific track or ask mentors in general. Someone will actually reply to your question. But also, if you require a one-on-one video chat, you can reserve 25 minutes and we'll help you scheduling over Zoom on an agreed time. So you can either ask Leah Varghese on our Slack support channel, but you can also, make a request and we'll try to address it as soon as possible. Webinars will be available on demand, and also data. Just want to remind you that we have a lot of NF data, but also other tracks data that are available. So check the data section, but also check all of the different tracks here on the challenge track session, where you will find information about all of the different tracks data. So Julia already went through the judging awards criteria, incubation prize. So we have prizes available, but also other incubations. And if you want to make fun, just use this file on our PowerPoint. Just right-click and download it in a new tab. You'll be able to create this sort of graphics with I am at Hack4Rare, or I currently on Hack4Rare for your social media if you want to. So this is an overview of what is in the attendee guide that's here for you. And let me go back on my presentation. So talking a little bit about the Rare Incubator. So the Rare Incubator is a network of experts, and mainly is comprised of our mentors that are willing to stay even after the hackathon, the 5 weeks of the hackathon has ended. So you winning teams and runner-up teams that will be allowed to enter in the Rare Incubator will still have access to all of those mentors. So if you need, and they will be there for you at, on demand, so you can reach them at any time. And during those incubation periods, team working on promising projects. So we'll also have the opportunity to pitch research funders, early stage investors, angel investors, pharma or biotech companies. So we'll create those, opportunity for you to present your idea in front of people that can bring it to the next level, especially if you think about creating a startup. And the maximum incubation time is 1 year. So let's have a look at what it really looks like. Wait a second. Oh, sorry. Okay, so in order to qualify for the incubation prize, make sure that you include in your project page on Synapse a section that says, you know, I'm applying for incubation. And this section is really is a mini proposal, if you want, to all of the organizations. For instance, for the NF track, you will address it to CTF. For the other tracks, you will address it to P10 or Brasopodis network. But if you want, you need to create think about creating a 3 to 6 months plan, highlighting a brief project summary, impact of your solution, a plan for the development of the project during the incubation period with clear goals and a statement of commitments. So this doesn't need to be very long, only 2 pages. You can check also the rules page that summarize this. And each track will announce its own incubation prizes. CTF has already done so. We have 30K as a prize pool total for incubation prize, and we're planning to give multiple incubation prizes. But I know that other tracks and research foundations are planning also to release incubation prizes. So the Rare Incubator will, in substance and in conclusion, give you continued mentorship and support. We'll also give you the opportunity to present at international conferences. This year, we also had participants at our conference from last year presenting posters. But we also give you the opportunity to present at the RACI conference, Redefining Early Stage Investments. We have a collaboration with them, and if you have your idea, you can actually pitch investors in that specific conference. And also, we'll offer check-ins at 6 and 12 months with funders. It's, for instance, your idea is moving forward very fast, and you require more funding. We'll be able to address that too. So those are all of the opportunities of the Rare Incubator. So just make sure that if you are coming to the hackathon with a pre-existing idea, so for instance, you already developed a platform or something for a different area, and you wanted to reapply to the Hack4Rare for any of the tracks, you can only apply for a Rare Incubator prize. You cannot compete for the general track. So make sure you read all of the rules on the rule page. So with that, I will basically see you on Friday 25th for the kickoff. This is the end of my presentation. So Barb, Jessica, Julia, I don't know if you guys want to add anything else or if there is any question from the chat that we can take. Okay, there is, yeah, go ahead.
I see a question in the chat. What about the wildcard challenge? Yeah, the wildcard challenge is basically embedded in our pinpoint. So we are welcoming any idea. So each track has a description of the main pain point where we want people to focus on, but really any idea that will benefit that track or patient population or stakeholder for that specific track is very welcome. So you can come in with any idea. Close this and I will stop sharing just so we are here. Okay. Any other comment, please, or question, just drop it in the chat, or we can follow the discussion on the Slack channel. So just make sure that you, join the conversation on the Slack channel as well.
And as a quick reminder, the problem pitch submission form is now open under the Pitch a Problem tab on the website.
Okay, so I just want, let me do this then very quickly. I'll share and make sure that I go through it. So pitch problem session is here. So basically, I don't know, do you want to talk about this, Julia? Just, describe it.
Yeah, it's a pretty short form. Essentially, we just want some contact information. So email and your name, contact number, and then a 1 to 2 sentence pitch description, just a quick summary of what your problem pitch is going to be. Remember that this should be a problem and should not touch the solution at all. And then just another couple of questions about when you will be giving your problem pitch, and also if you have a specific track in mind for your pitch, which you don't necessarily need to do, but just if you do.
Yeah. Maybe something we can specify is in order to qualify and create a team, you don't need to have to make a problem pitching. You can pick any of this problem pitching and create maybe from one problem. Multiple teams can work on the same problem or different version of the same problem. And the other thing is if you don't have in mind a clear track where your problem or solution it's actually going on, you don't need to. So you can work that later. Yeah. So let's start with this. Every submission will be called off on Friday. So we'll start with, in order of submissions, and we'll call you up for your minute. And maybe one thing, Julia, to specify is that only those problem pitching, only those problem pitches that will be made live will be made available for everybody to see. So this list will stay, let's say, behind the scenes or in our hand until the problem is pitched live by the person that is actually submitting it, right?
Yep, that's correct.
There is a question, can one person participate in more than one track?
Yes, you can participate in as many tracks as you want, but we really support the idea to just be part of one team, not multiple teams, even though nothing stops from be part of many different teams. Yeah, and make sure that you only submit on one track and not all of the tracks. Otherwise, you'll, of course, we want your solution to be scalable to all of the different audiences, but be focused.
So you're saying, sorry, Salva, I think that's confusing. So you're saying you can participate in more than one track, but you can't submit multiple projects from different tracks.
You can participate in multiple. Yes, it's question is you can participate in multiple tracks. Yes. Okay, let's keep it simple as an answer.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for today. And there are no further questions or anything you guys want to add. See you all on Friday, 25th at 12.
Thank you.
Thank you.